Hello. Happy Monday. Monday fun day. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. Did you have a good weekend? Did you have a good long weekend? You know, me personally, I got to hang out with some Christians, some believers, and we talked about multiple things, and it was really, really nice. Absolutely nice. These Christians that I'm talking about they're from a church, most of them, a new church that I've been attending, and they have the same beliefs as others, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Same belief as me. Let me put it that way. They have the same belief as me, which I find to be very, very, very awesome. So, but anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Thank you so much. Now, let's get right into this. Let's get right into it. Y'all ready for this? So, I voted for what's happening right now in America. I voted for what President Trump is currently doing. I voted for this. And I don't know if y'all recall, but a couple of months ago, this was kind of maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago, maybe a few months. It was not too long after the election. A lot of the Democrats were trying to act like they were MAGA Republicans, and they were doing videos, and they would go online and they were saying, I'm regretting my vote. I'm regretting my vote. And they were saying that they were MAGA Republicans. Now, I've had conversations with a lot of people, and I've yet to come across a true MAGA Republican. You know, someone that loves America, someone who wants America to be great again, to remain great, you know, someone like that. I've yet to come across someone that say, you know what, I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed that President Trump shut the border down. I'm so disappointed that President Trump is stopping the trafficking of children. I'm so disappointed that President Trump stopping the drug trafficking across our southern border. I'm so disappointed that President Trump did these tariffs that's bringing billions of dollars into the country. I'm so disappointed that President Trump, his policies are creating more jobs in this country. I'm so disappointed about all of that. I've yet to see or hear an actual MAGA Republican to say those things. Now, look, let's be honest here. Maybe there is one out there. Maybe there is a couple out there. Not likely, but let's just go for it for grins. Where they at? Now, when Democrats, they get on there and they try to act like, oh my goodness, yeah, you know, President Trump, he's doing terrible things. And all President Trump is doing is what we voted for him for. I voted for what President Trump is currently doing. And I'm telling you right now, all of the Republicans in this country are very happy on what we're seeing. And one of the things that I voted for President Trump to do was to get these criminals. And I'm not just talking about the criminals running the streets of America, burning up vehicles, burning up buildings, attacking ICE, attacking police officers. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the criminals that put our country through 2 impeachments, 4 indictments, 34 fraudulent charges against President Trump, trying to remove him from the ballot, getting a mugshot on him, and also trying to take his life, not twice, but 3 times that we're aware of, right? Did I leave out any? Oh, raiding his home, not once, but twice. The fraudulent 90 plus charges against President, trying to remove him from the ballot, lying and saying that he caused an episode on January 6th, right? Lying about all of this. They even had a fraudulent hearing committee about all of that. I voted for President Trump to get these criminals. And on top of that, I voted for President Trump to get the country back on track. This is the reason why I voted for President Trump. Because I did not like the direction that the Democrats were taking us. I can't ever recall there's ever been a time that I even cared which direction the Democrats were taking us, because they were always taking us into the dirt. The Democrats never cared about this country. The Democrats have never cared about this country. And you know, one thing that I've noticed, and I've talked about it before, is that the Democrats, they're so mad right now about what President Trump has done. They're so angry right now that, as I've said multiple times, I believe that they're going to activate sleeper cells in this country. And the reason why I say they're going to activate sleeper cells in this country, because they allowed millions upon millions of people to enter into the United States of America without any kind of verification. And these are people, apparently, through Doge, that we found out that receive Social Security cards. These people received Social Security cards. What does that mean? What does that mean? What do you think it means? It means exactly what we think it means. It means that they were able to participate. A lot of them did. Some of them didn't. But some of them participated in the 2024. Some of them did. But see, the Democrats, they had this whole scheme going on. And Doge exposed all of it. So I think every single Democrat that was aware of this, there has to be some receipt somewhere. Every single Democrat that was aware of this, that participated in this, they should be held responsible for allowing it to happen. It's criminal activity. It's 100% criminal activity. And see, again, I'm sitting there talking about this and why I voted for President Trump and the things I'm seeing that President Trump is doing, I'm very excited about. Some of the stuff I had no idea that President Trump was going to do it. And I'm very excited about it. And they want me to be upset with President Trump because of his actions, what he's doing for this country. Why would I be upset? I've constantly asked this question. Can you give me one reason why I should be upset with what President Trump is doing? Just one. Well, he's putting the military on the streets of America. Well, the only reason why President Trump has to put the National Guard on the streets of America is because when he sends in ICE to apprehend these criminals that the Democrats brought into the country, you have Antifa and BLM, apparently, and other leftist radical groups that have been attacking ICE members. I mean, violently attacking them. And because it's ICE, these blue cities with these blue Democrat mayors and governors, they've been preventing ICE from doing their jobs and preventing the police officers from doing their jobs by protecting ICE, another law enforcement organization in the United States of America. So they tied the hands of police officers, said, nope, you will not help ICE. You will not do it. We're going to prevent you from helping them. We're not going to allow you to help them. We're going to stop you every step of the way from helping ICE. Every step of the way. Well, that leaves no other choice. They give them no other option. But they have to send in the National Guard to protect the ICE agents and federal agents. And then the Democrats, they leave out the key detail that they've prevented police officers from helping ICE apprehend Trey De Agua and MS-13 criminals. They leave that detail out. They only put it out there. Oh my goodness, President Trump, he's putting military soldiers on the streets of America. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. It's tyranny. He's acting like a dictator. Oh my goodness, what will we do? I know, let's call him Hitler. Let's get people to believe that President Trump is trying to be like another Hitler figure to get simple-minded, radical leftist lunatic liberals to react to it. How do you think they're going to react? I know they'll send liberal activists to go on top of a roof to take out ICE members. And then they'll turn around and say, well, look, we don't know the motive. We don't know why he would do this. Even though he probably had blue hair, pink hair or something. We don't know why. We don't know the motive. We don't know what's going on in his mind to get him to do such a thing. After they said all of this rhetoric, well, guess what? I voted for what President Trump is doing. And I'm getting more. And I'm happy about it. And I would be happy to vote for it again. As long as we have someone like President Trump that's willing to stand up for the American people, I'm going to vote for him. We can no longer sustain, right? We couldn't. What Joe Biden and the Democrats were doing to this country. They kept saying, oh, the border's secure. The border's closed. The border's not open. They were using the border for their own sinister reasons to get more Democrats in the country. It's no secret. It's no secret. The only thing that President Trump has not done as of yet that I wish President Trump would do is address the whole big tech shadow banning, censorship, blocking episode of Americans. That's what I wish he would address. And maybe he is in the background. I don't know. You know, because Google last week came out with a statement that they admitted they're blocking conservatives, removing videos, millions upon millions of videos. Maybe we're headed towards that, but I'm not seeing a major change. And I don't want President Trump to wait until his last 6 months, because if it's, or even going into the 26th election, I don't want President Trump to wait until then, because if the Democrats, for any known reason or unknown reason, let me say it that way, for any unknown reason, if the Democrats are successful in doing what I think they're trying to attempt to do, because they're going to try. We'll be naive to think that they're not going to, because they have to stop Trump by any means necessary. Isn't that what they do? Any means necessary. We got to stop Trump no matter what. How many times have y'all heard him say that? So again, if they're going to try to attempt to do what I think they're going to try to do, they're going to go to these big tech companies and they're going to have them remove Trump again. The sitting president of the United States of America. The sitting president. And then they have this whole idea of calling MAGA Republicans and President Trump fascists. How many MAGA Republicans and who has President Trump silenced? President Trump hasn't silenced anybody. And these idiots kept going, oh my goodness, President Trump is silencing Jimmy Kimmel. President Trump had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. When you go out and you're trying to silence people because they're saying something that you don't like, that is a clear indication that you're a fascist. That's exactly what that is. 100%. Is it not? It's not like the fact that they're open to open dialogue. Oh no, absolutely not. They don't want to hear what people have to say unless you're saying the same craziness that they're saying. Then they're all about it. Then they're up for it. Other than that, they don't want to have nothing to do with what you have to say, which is perfectly fine. They don't have, you know what? They don't have to do anything. But the problem is they have it in their mind that they have to shut you down. Well, I don't like what you're saying, so no one else should have to hear what you were saying. Instead of just walking away. Well, now that President Trump has actually pulled the hammer. Y'all get what I'm saying? Actually, President Trump has pulled the trigger. I'll say it that way. President Trump has pulled the trigger. We finally got one. All right. One is not enough. And what am I talking about? We finally got an indictment. We got one. We got one. And the Democrats, they're highly concerned that there's going to be more to follow. They're highly concerned about it. And this is the reason why we're seeing uptick in Antifa on the streets of America. Have y'all noticed this? Now, of course, they're finding these ICE facilities, and this is where they've been attacking, right? This is their first stomping ground, right? Because President Trump is removing their slave labor. So, you know, they put in Antifa to go to these ICE facilities to try to attack the ICE members there. But it's just like the last time President Trump was in office. Y'all remember? I remember it like it was yesterday. President Trump was in office, and then all of a sudden you have Antifa showing up at these different locations throughout America being violent. The same thing's happening today. And you know why they're doing it? Because they believe that the violence that the left pushed onto the American people during the summer of love, they believed it working to their benefit. That's the reason why they got Joe Biden. And to some extent, it did work to their benefit, because when you had some judges that were approached about some of the corruption that took place that the Democrats did, these judges threw it out. Why did they throw it out? The reason why I believe they threw it out is because, and it's been reported allegedly, that some of these judges said that they don't want to get involved, or that they threw it out because they wanted to tone down the violent activity in America. And if they went along with the facts, if they went along with everything that was being presented, they knew that President Trump would have been right, and President Trump would have gotten what he wanted. The American people would have gotten what we wanted. And then it would just mean there's more violence. This guy, Destiny, he's probably an Antifa member himself. He has on YouTube. His name, he goes by Destiny. And he actually said that if President Trump did not win the election, then Charlie Kirk would still be here today. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So because President Trump won the election is the reason why we have violence in America. You understand? Because see, we as conservative Christians, Republicans, MAGA Republicans, we're not violent. Joe Biden was there for 4 years. How much violence did you see from those on the right? I mean, how much violence did you see? No, let's be honest with it. How much violence? Oh, but J6. They love January 6th. I mean, they love it like Groundhog Day. They love it like it's their Easter. They do. And come to find out, it was how many? 270 plus FBI informants involved? Come on now. The truth about that's coming out, and I voted for us to find out the truth, and the truth is coming out. But now that we got this indictment of James Comey, now that we got this indictment, how do you think they're going to react? Because more is coming. The uptick in violence is going to happen in the country. We're already seeing it. This is not me making it up. This is not me saying, hey, sometime in the near future, you're going to see leftists go to ICE facilities. You're going to see leftists go on top of buildings. You're going to see leftists throwing rocks at vehicles. You're going to see leftists starting to burn stuff. You're right. This is not me telling you this is something that's coming in the future. It's already happening. It's already happening, but they don't want us to pay attention to it. Oh my goodness, this is right-wing violence. You know what? Something I realized, and you probably realized it already. And I was doing a little research on this, and all it takes is a little bit. Because, you know, all of these liberal media outlets, they come out and they say that all the violence that we've been seeing in America has been coming from the right. But there's no videos of this violence that they're referring to. There's no videos of it. There's no news reports of all of this violence that they're saying. Now, there's a couple stuff because you got human beings. But I can show you video after video after video and report after report after report of left-wing violence. I mean, so much I could do it all day long, really. But what they've done is just like in Washington, D.C., and just like other blue cities, they've been fudging the numbers. In 2020, when they had the Summer of Love, remember when the city was on fire behind them and they said it was mostly peaceful? What they did is all of that violence, upwards of $2 billion in insurance claims, they said that most of that violence was mostly peaceful. So they marked it down as mostly peaceful. They marked it down as it's really not that violent. So we'll not mark it as left-wing violence. They did this so that they could have a narrative to say, oh, majority of the violence that we see in the country is from the right. And that's not true at all. This is Satan's world. And these Democrats adhere to everything of Satan. So you can't for 1 second believe that these Democrats are going to be truthful about it. They're not going to be, because they have to have everyone believe that they are on the right side of history, that they're the ones that's fighting for justice, that they're the ones that are loving, inclusive, and love, and all about love. And they're not. They're just the opposite. And they demonstrated it over and over and over and over and over again. And the thing is, because, Google said that they're going to not do the, blocking and all that. I don't believe them. I mean, I'm just telling you, I don't believe them, because at one point they said that they were going to allow people to talk about, a certain, the Kung flu. They said they were going to allow people to do it. And then people started talking about it. And then a couple months later after that, then bam, 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 they start taking them down again. Oh, look what you said here. Well, we've changed our policies. And because you said it when we said it was okay, we're going to penalize you today. Bam, bam, bam. Did y'all know they were doing that? People were like, oh my goodness, but you said it was okay to start talking about it again. Yeah, suckers. That's what they were calling us. Suckers, you talked about it. And now we've changed the policy because we wanted you to talk about it. So now we have you. Now we know who you are. It was a total setup. Just like in the beginning of this year, according to some reports, and I did the research on it, in the beginning of this year on Facebook said that they were going to allow political discussion, political talk. They're going to do it and stop banning people and blocking people. Really? Y'all tell me in the comments, do you think they've stopped doing that? What do you think? I don't think so. I'm not seeing it. They're still hitting me hard. They're still doing it. It's ridiculous. And it's all because they don't want you to make the decision on who you can listen to. They don't want you to have the decision. They want to tell you who you can listen to, who you can't listen to. I'm telling you right now, and most people know this. Most people know this. But let me ask you this. Who's trying to take away whose freedoms? Who's trying to take away freedoms? See, as Republicans, I believe, and I've said this so many times, I've actually had people write down this statement that I've said, and I've even seen people make t-shirts after I said it. Freedom for me begins when you say something that I don't like. I remember I said that I was in Oklahoma, and this lady came up to me. She said, "Say that again." It's like freedom for me begins, freedom of speech for me begins when you say something that I don't like. But for liberals, they don't think that way. Oh my goodness, there's no freedom for you. When I was in California, I went to the Battle of Berkeley, and it was wild. I had never seen anything like it. I was fresh into supporting Trump. I was fresh into speaking out. I was fresh into it. I mean, absolutely, I was fresh as all get. I didn't know anything. I just knew that supporting President Trump was the right thing. This is early on in California. And I went to the Battle of Berkeley. And I remember there was people, and I'm green to all of this and I'm still learning. And there was people that were Trump supporters loving America holding signs that said free speech. And I remember Antifa trying to get that sign and rip it up. They were at it. And because the guys that were holding it was just pointing to free speech, free speech, free speech, free speech. And they were getting angrier and angrier, talking about Antifa, angry because this guy was holding the sign. And when I was new to all this, and I'm like, hello, can I ask a question? Why are you upset about free speech? And they were like, you shouldn't be able to say all of the fascist stuff. And I'm like, what are they saying is fascist? That people should have freedoms? That you should be able to live your life the way you want to? That we don't judge people by your color, your sex? That's because that's what they're saying. What is it that you don't want to say? It's wild. Which brings me to this. It's even still happening today. These Democrats want to take away your freedoms. And this dude was like this close on becoming VP for Kamala Harris, which would have been a better choice than Tim Walz. This dude here, listen to what he says. And this is the reason why he's a Democrat. Just listen to what he says, and he'll explain why he's a Democrat on his own. Watch.
These guys are completely full of when it comes to freedom. They are continually restricting the freedoms of Americans. I think the Democrats are the ones who are standing up for freedom.
Wow.
We're the ones standing up for individual liberties.
Wow.
You want to use Sarah's words? We're the ones standing up for that libertarian approach. Leave people to making decisions over their own bodies and allow them to be able to hear all the different perspectives to form their own mindset. The Republican Party under Donald Trump is restricting our freedoms, and that is very, very dangerous.
Really? So I've asked this question as well. When I go do Man on the Street, I talk to liberals and I say, can you give me an example of what freedoms that you no longer have? Because, President Trump is in office now. I really want to know that answer. What freedoms did you have that you no longer have? Which one is it? What is it? Now, see, this is that rhetoric constantly talking about this coming from the left. They make up stuff about President Trump. They make up stuff about those on the right. They make it up. What freedoms? What freedoms? If anyone is losing freedoms, it's those of us on the right. It's still happening on big tech. Big tech companies are still suppressing our voices, right? And the reason why I think they're suppressing their voices because, and look, some of them had dinner with President Trump not too long ago. Mark Zuckerberg was there. And some of these big tech CEOs were at the White House having dinner with President Trump. And a whole bunch of liberals got upset with it. I mean, they were angry with it. And see, I didn't get angry because I want President Trump to communicate with these people and hopefully that they will go, you know what, Mr. President Trump, you're right. We don't want you to silence us or anybody on the left. And we have to admit that we were wrong for silencing you. Google just admitted to doing it. Now, I don't know if Facebook is going to admit to doing it, working with the FBI, the DOJ, the FBI, working with them, silencing American people. But what freedoms, again, have you lost? I'm just kind of curious. Wow. Shaman, if I'm saying your name right, on YouTube says, I've lost 3 children who lost their souls to the Democrats. You know what? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's pretty terrible, right? And people they listen to the stuff with the Democrats and put this information out there, and then people, I can't even imagine. Losing a child to the Democrats. And for those of you that don't know, I have 3. And they're adults now. And I'll never forget this. One time I was in California and I took my 2 boys with me and I went to a women's march. And some of y'all may have seen that. I was live on YouTube at the time. And so I'm at this women's march in California, downtown LA. And there's thousands of people. And they're walking around with the kitty cat hats on. They're walking around with these hideous signs with just, female genitalia on there. And some of them even have the costumes. And some of them walking around with little kids on their shoulders, and they got all the other colorful stuff going on, right? And I take my 2 boys. I have 2 boys. They're young men now. I take my 2 boys. And they were teenagers at the time. And they were just holding the camera. They would just operate the camera where I had the microphone and I'm just talking to people. And at the time I had my Trump is your president t-shirt on. And they see my shirt and they come up and they just get mad and they're talking to me. And then they realize that my 2 boys are with me and they go, how dare you bring your children to this event? What do you mean? How dare I bring my children? Right? They were a teenager. They were like, at the time, they were like 16 and 17, 18, 16 to 18, 19, somewhere around there. Right? Or maybe even, actually, maybe a little bit younger than that. just a little bit, but they were well into their teens. And I took them to this women's march. And then after the women's march, we were on our way back home, and my boys were like, oh my goodness. They said, I never, ever want to go to one of those things again. They said, I never. So I took my children and I had them present how these people are. See, it's one thing to watch it through a video, seeing how them reacting, and you get your opinion about them. But it's another when you're actually there, and then they would start saying stuff to my boys. And I said, look, I'm fine with you saying stuff to me. You can call me stuff. You can call me any name that you want to. They're just holding the camera for me. They're not even having a conversation with anybody. And I'm going to ask you politely to leave them alone. Right? Now you can, if you want to say something, direct it to me. But of course, the liberals, they just get mad and then they get in front of the camera because they don't want people to see all the wonderful, beautiful things that they're doing. So they block the cameras. But the reason why I brought that up, because the young lady in there says she lost, and I'm assuming it's a lady, sorry if it's not, but the young lady said that she lost her children to the Democrats, and I'm so sorry about that. Satan is on his job. Satan wants people to watch and believe this evilness is good. Satan is on the job. And it's pretty disgusting, really. I mean, it really is. It's pretty disgusting. And I'm so sorry that this is happening. Another thing that I want to share with you, everybody, is that with President Trump, something else that I voted for, Letitia James, she actually ran her entire campaign saying, going to get Trump. We're going to get him. 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 She ran on that. And now all of the Democrats trying to act like, well, it's okay that she ran on it because we want to get him. See, they don't say that part out loud. They all want to get Trump. They want to get Trump in a bad way. They want to get him in a bad way. And then there's James Comey, which we talked about James Comey last week. Got one indictment. Now we need another indictment of Letitia James. There needs to be another indictment of Mark Milley. There needs to be another indictment of Hillary Clinton. There needs to be another indictment. Not Bill Clinton. Let Bill Clinton go ahead and go on and do his thing, right? Needs to be an indictment. The top indictment that needs to happen is Obama. And before they take the mugshot of these people, they need to be put in orange and then take the mugshot. Okay? Have them change clothes. Have them put in a mugshot. They can change afterwards, but make sure at least just a shirt, right? Because the shirt, the mugshot is only like this. Change them into the orange. Let them do their mugshots. And then they can change back into whatever it is that they were wearing when they walked in the door. But there needs to be indictments of these people. Christopher Wray, Mayorkas. Where's Fauci? Where's Fauci? Have y'all seen Fauci? Before Fauci would run over to Communist News Network or MSDNC, and he was happy to run his pie hole when Joe Biden was there. And all of a sudden, President Trump comes. Where's Fauci? I'm just asking the question. Where's he at? Is he hanging out with Waldo? I mean, really? Yeah, nothing, not even a peep out of this dude. Unless y'all have heard something, I haven't seen a darn thing. No, I wasn't about to curse. I haven't seen a darn thing from Fauci. But the Democrats, again, they're upset because President Trump, he's actually calling out Letitia James by name, and look what she did. President Trump called out Comey by name. He's called out multiple people by name because of the criminal activity that they did. Never before in the history of this nation have they ever done anything like they've done to a former president, to a current president, to an ex-president. None of that. They've never done it before. And if they don't get these people, they're going to do it again. Now listen to them how they're on here complaining about President Trump possibly bringing more indictments.
We also know that the president took some extraordinary public statements in the past few days. He publicly said he wants to see Adam Schiff now a senator, Letitia James, prosecuted.
Yeah, let's get them all. Get them all.
Along with James Comey, the former FBI director, who is now indicted. Yesterday, he twice posted on social media about former FBI director Chris Wray. Did the president tell you, is he planning prosecutions?
I did not speak directly to the president about that today, but fishing around all weekend in his inner circle, it's clear this is just the beginning in terms of possible prosecutions of those who have scrutinized the president or criticized him over the years. You mentioned the mortgage policy potentially of Senator Adam Schiff of California. He's being discussed inside of the Trump administration. So is Letitia James, the New York Attorney General who sued the president over how he valued his real estate holdings. And there are others not even on our radar at this moment, like retired Joint Chiefs Chairman Mark Milley, who are being discussed as people who may have taken action against the administration or president in some way, allegedly, in the views of those inside, and they want to see the Justice Department hold them to account. There's such a
y'all see that? Oh, but they need to be held responsible. They need to be held responsible 100%. 100%. Wow. I got a Rumble rant. And let me go over here, Peel, real quick. Okay. So, every now and then when I'm playing a video, I really look at the comments. And someone sent me a Rumble rant. And wow, just wow. Thank you so much for that. Let me go look at it. Where we go. Someone sent me a Rumble rant. Ed1, thank you so much for that Rumble rant. Thank you so much. And let me go ahead and do this for Ed. There we go. Boom. Ed, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Rumble rant. This is the only way when you guys support me, guys and girls, when you support me, this is the only way I'm able to keep the lights on. It's the only way if you support me. If you like anything that I've been saying, you like my way of thinking, you love my passion for our country, you got to support me. And I'm not asking for the world. Anything helps. Anything, everything helps. It is a blessing from God because God uses his people to bless me. Thank you so much for that Rumble rant. Thank you so much. It's really nice to see. It's really nice to see. Sometimes I forget that it's even on because a lot of times people don't send me Rumble rants. A lot of times people go to my website and I'm very appreciative to that. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that blessing. Thank you so much. Okay, let me share another one with you. And this one, of course, should be alarming to everybody because y'all have heard me talk about the pendulum swinging, right? Y'all heard, you've heard more than just me talking about it. If the pendulum swings, they're not going to go, they won't have, well, I guess, they just might go after Trump. But then again, they might not go after Trump. I can see it happening both ways. The reason why I said that they might not go after President Trump is because they want Trump to go away, right? And if he's no longer going to be president after these 4 years, and then they're like, Trump, just go away, stop talking about him, maybe everybody else will just, stop talking about MAGA and it just go away. Or the Democrats will be so bitter that they feel that they have to punish Trump for waking people up. Which one do y'all think it is? Do y'all think they're going to leave Trump alone when these 4 years over? What do y'all think? Me personally, I think they're going to bring up everything that the Democrats have been doing wrong throughout history, and they're going to say it's Trump's fault that it was done wrong, right? They lie now, they're going to lie then. That's where I think they're going to go with it, personally. Well, if the pendulum swings, listen to what Eric Swalwell says is going to happen. I think they're going to come after you and I. Those of us that supported President Trump, especially someone like Will Johnson that has been speaking loudly with his small voice, they're going to come after people like me because I supported President Trump and I refuse to go along with this evilness. But listen, he's putting it out there that they're going to come for us. Listen.
You say last week that your committee, Judiciary, has the power to step in and kind of stop some of this. But how, Congressman, especially being in the minority?
Well, first, we are making it clear that we're going into the majority a year from now. We have every intention to do that. And so we will bring oversight, accountability. We will subpoena the Department of Justice, but also private actors who have done these drug deals with the administration, college campuses, entertainment companies, law firms. And so accountability is coming. And so
you hear this? Accountability is coming. But see, they don't want accountability for all of the tyrannical things that they've done. They don't want accountability there. They don't want accountability of James Comey lying. They don't want accountability of James Comey leaking FBI docs. They don't want accountability there. They don't want accountability of the border being wide open. They don't want accountability of anything wicked and evil that they've been doing. They're saying accountability of President Trump putting the country back on track. They're saying accountability because President Trump no longer want men in girls' bathroom. This is what they're talking about, accountability, because President Trump has put a damper in everything that they've done. USAID getting shut down. No more money going to the DNC. Other programs in the federal government getting shut down. No more money going to the DNC. Planned Parenthood no longer receiving federal funding. Another thing, money going to the DNC. President Trump, because of what Elon Musk did with Doge and other things, and Marco Rubio hammering it, they are putting a big damper on them. And see, right now, their whole objective is to get the American people to believe that President Trump is doing something wrong so they can vote the Democrats, and then they can come in and just reverse everything to get everything back on track. And also, I didn't even get into it about shutting the government down. The Democrats want to shut the government down so they can turn around and say, oh, the Republicans did it. Did you know in the government shutdown, that's probably more likely going to happen, that they want to put it in there where illegals, their health care is reinstated? Did you know that? To where we have to pay for it. These $10,000 EBT cards that was going to illegals, they want that put back in place. Everything that Joe Biden and the Democrats were doing for all these illegals, Chuck Schumer and other predominant Democrats said, we want all of that put back in place. We want USAID to start funneling money to the DNC. We want all of that put back in place, or we're going to shut the government down. See, that's the part that they don't ever talk about, though.
It's all coming out, too. I hope that deters people from doing more of these deals, these one-offs with the president. One other point, though, on Comey, Kate, this happened when Donald Trump was president. So if you're trying to tell me this is not politically motivated, the statement that they're referring to where he allegedly lied, Donald Trump was president. So why didn't you indict him then? The fact that he's indicting him now just makes it look even more politically motivated. And so I'm pretty confident that this will either be dismissed or Mr. Comey will be acquitted by a jury of his peers.
You know why he didn't indict Comey the first time? Because Attorney General Barr and Attorney General Sessions refused to do the stinking jobs. That's why. Barr and Sessions, both of them snakes. Both of them snakes refused to do their jobs. Pam Bondi. And even right now, even though we got one indictment, you know, maybe she just threw this one indictment to throw President Trump a bone. Here's a bone. Here's a bone, Trump. Don't expect any more bones. If she doesn't do more indictments of these criminals, that's exactly all that was. Let me throw you a bone. Here's some low-hanging fruit. Comey, because, okay, we got him, you know, rightfully so. We got Comey. I mean, everyone knows the Comey is corrupt. And he should have never, you know, he should have never brought attention to himself by putting the seashell. Oh, he just happened to walk up on that formation. He just happened to walk up on it. 8647. Really? Really? And then he took a picture. Oh, what a cool formation. Just happened to walk up on it. I just happened to walk up on it. Maybe he should have just went off somewhere and shut up and not bring attention to himself. But 8647, when he did that seashell formation in the sand, he's actually calling for people to bring harm to President Trump. to end President Trump's life. FAFO. FAFO. 100%. 100%. All right, everybody. Hey, this is the end. Look, let me share something else with you, because this is like a teaser for what's about to happen on my Culture Wars show. The Democrats are actually, remember last time, the Summer of Love? I kind of got into it a little bit in my opening monologue here. Remember in summer 2020? Remember Summer of Love? Remember what Kamala Harris said about all the rioters that were out in the streets of America? Y'all remember what she said? She told them basically, keep going, we will bail you out. Not basically, that's what she did say. If I'm not mistaken, she was on with Don Sourpuss Lemon at the time. But nonetheless, she actually said, keep going, we'll bail you out. Keep up the violence. Because in their mind, they believe all the violence worked in their favor. Now, I'm going to show you what they are doing on my Culture Wars show. You go to my website, unitedamericafirst.com. Go to my website, unitedamericafirst.com. Click on Culture Wars right there in the middle. 1 hour, just over 1 hour from right now. And I'm going to show you how they're trying to repeat or pick up where they left off. It is absolutely wild. And I'm going to share it with you on my Culture Wars show. So go to unitedamericafirst.com, click on Culture Wars, and you'll see it right there on my website, right there in the middle. Culture Wars. This is a show that I do throughout the week. You'll see it. You're not going to want to miss it. So let me show you just like a teaser, if I can. Okay, this is what we're calling it, like a teaser. Listen to what she says in this short clip, and I'm going to show you how they're listening to her.
At a time such as this, it demands one thing for sure. We must fight fire with fire. So CPC, let's get to work. Thank you.
So what do you think she means? We need to fight fire with fire. Now, if President Trump said that, oh my goodness, President Trump's trying to cause an insurrection. Oh my goodness, it's terrible, it's terrible. This is the same one, like I just told you, the same one that just last time President Trump was in office said, keep going, we'll bail you out. Y'all remember that? I know you remember it. So make sure you tune in. Just over 1 hour from right now, go to unitedamericafirst.com, like I showed you here. unitedamericafirst.com, click on Culture Wars, which is 1 hour from now, and you're going to see this explosive information. I can't show it to you here because I'm on YouTube and I'm on Facebook, right? And I know I'm on peel.net, I'm on Getter, and I'm on Rumble as well, and I'm on X, American News, which all of those platforms I just listed. I could show you all of it, but I just happened to go live on my YouTube channel that I got back, and I don't want to lose it because I did work hard to build it up. I'm on my Facebook page that I lost. They took it from me too, and I got it back, so I don't want to lose it. Right? Y'all, I know y'all understand. I know you understand. Now, if I could get everybody that's on my Facebook to go over to Rumble or go over to Rumble, I would be, I'd probably drop them. Or same thing with YouTube, but there's still a lot of people, and I'll be honest with you, I go to YouTube for a lot of how-to stuff. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. But if everybody would go over to my Rumble per se, for example, right, and you would support me and help me there, I probably wouldn't do my lives on Facebook and YouTube. But there's still wonderful people on Facebook and YouTube. That's the reason why I'm there. That's the reason why I'm there. Because of the wonderful people that still tune in on my YouTube channel and my Facebook. Because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be there. I'm just being honest with you. So God bless you. God bless you. All right, 1 hour from now, everybody, come on over. Set a mobile alert on your phone. And when you come over there, just say, hey, I'm here from your other show, Will. Just say that. Hear from Will's other show. Hear from Will's other show. Okay, 1 hour, just over 1 hour from now. God bless everybody, and thank you so much for all the support. UniteAmericaFirst.com. Click on the merch. Oh, I plan on today having a t-shirt on there. I'm going to work on it today. It says Jesus is King, because the Democrats are having a No Kings event coming up. And if I put it on there today and I get it ordered, I should have it by the 18th. I should have it before the 18th. So I'm going to put it out there today. If you want to get one and support me, just come back to my website, UniteAmericaFirst.com, later this evening and click on merch and you'll see it. It should be the first one up there. All right, everybody. God bless. Thank you so much. I will see you in 1 hour. Take care. Take care. God bless.